Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's Nathan Payne, and today we're going to be talking about if a real estate agent can represent a buyer and a seller at the same time, and why that's important to know if you're a real estate investor and trying to get deals. You should watch this video because knowing whether or not a buyer and a seller can be represented by one agent can really help you get more deals as a real estate investor if you know how to work with real estate agents, so stay tuned. By the end of this video, you're gonna know exactly if real estate agent can represent a buyer and a seller. You're gonna know exactly why real estate agents won't represent a buyer and a seller. I'm gonna tell you exactly why they should represent buyers and sellers and do dual agency. And I'm gonna tell you why you should work with real estate agents that are open to doing dual agency and double dipping, as they call it, or representing the buyer and seller. Stay tuned. All right, everybody, to cut the fluff out, I'm just gonna tell you to you straight, give it to you straight. Yes, sellers and buyers can be represented by one agent, but there's a caveat to that. It really depends on the market they're in. Some, and by market I mean state, some states don't allow you to do dual agency. So what the heck do you do if you want agent to represent you as a buyer and a seller if you want them to do both? Well, you got to do this. So what do you do if you're in one of those states that agent can't represent a buyer and a seller and do dual agency, double dip, whatever you want to call it? Well, what you can do to get around that is you can have the agent connect you with someone in their brokerage, someone in the same brokerage or another agent they know, and usually what they're able to do is just network with each other, pay each other, do something, I don't know what they're doing, but that's how you get around it, right? Whether they're paying each other the commission or under the table. So if you reach out to an agent and say, hey, I see you're selling this property. I don't have an agent. Can you represent me as the buyer? So that agent, he's not only going to get the 3% from listing it with the seller, but he's going to get the 3% from you for being the buyer. So he's going to make 6%. And he's super motivated to do it because he wants to make double his commission. He can do it, but if he's not able to because of the dual agency or whatever state he's a part of that doesn't allow it, you can say, hey, that's fine. Just connect me with someone in your brokerage and they can represent me. And the agents love that. That's how they do it. And that's how you get around it. So why the heck would some agents not want to get double the commission and do dual agency? Well, if they're in a state that doesn't allow it, then they don't allow it. But if they're in a state that allows it and they say they don't do that, usually the point that they bring up is they think it's unethical. They don't want to put their own interests in front of the interests of the seller, where they're trying to just accept someone's offer that might not be their best offer, and then, just to make both sides of the commission. Because that's what a lot of real estate agents that work with buyers do, is they represent maybe someone that's gonna flip it, right? But it's not unethical if you're telling the seller all the offers that are coming in and you're letting them know that whoever you're bringing in as a buyer, this is their offer. So, I mean, it's really up to how you do business. So people that say they don't do it because they think it's unethical or wrong, I mean, they're probably just not being transparent with the seller and just telling them what's available. But the cool thing is, if they do it, they make double the commission. Like I was saying, if real estate agents want to double their income, then they need to get tight with flippers, people that are purchasing properties, and all they have to do with sellers is just say, hey, seller, I can list your house for 3%, but if you want, I know a couple buyers in my area that instead of us having to list this house, I can just run it by them, and if they're interested, I can bring them. Obviously, I'd represent them as the buyer, but that way you don't even have to list this thing. You don't have to worry about it. I can just get it done for you really quick. So he reaches out to his buyer. The buyer, he represents the buyer and the seller. He makes double the commission, and he gives the seller a great option, a great opportunity to get the house sold really quick. So the fact that agents don't want to do dual agency, even if you're in a state that doesn't do it, you can use someone for your brokerage. The fact that you're not doing it, you're leaving tons of money on the table, and that's stupid in my opinion, especially if you can be transparent with the seller and just say, hey, look, we can list this thing, but if I have some people that can buy your house, you want me to check it out? You want me to see what they'll offer? I mean, it's a no-brainer. Why doesn't every real estate agent do that? And if they think it's unethical to do that, well, they're just not telling the seller the whole story. So guys, if you're a real estate agent and you don't do this, stop losing out on money. Before I move on to the next point, I want to give you something. And I think it's something that's really going to help you, especially with this topic. Now, if you want to start working with real estate agents and making offers on the MLS and trying to get deals, you need a script You need the addendum that you need them to sign if they accept your offer, if you're gonna wholesale. You need all these tools. And what I've done for you is I've compiled all these tools and I put them in the Painless Wholesaling Mind Map. I literally lay out the whole process of how to do deals with real estate agents on the market, and I put it in a mind map for you to go get. So grab it, go click on the link, and I know you're gonna love it, because you know what, guys, I spent a ton of money to get all those materials for you, and I'm just giving it to you for free, so check it out. So this topic might sound pretty familiar to you. Can a real estate agent represent a buyer and seller? And as we've talked about, yes, it can. But one of my mentors, one of the great mentors I have, is Jerry Norton. He talks about this all the time. He talks about the double dip strategy. And what that is you're looking for properties on the market, on the MLS, that look distressed, or not, they don't even have to be distressed, but you're just making offers to agents. And what you do is when you call a real estate agent, you just say, hey, I'm interested in making an offer on this property. Before we dive into me asking more questions about the property, I want to know, I'm unrepresented. Would you be willing to represent me in this transaction so you can get both sides of the commission? And usually what the agents say is, yeah, of course. And if they don't, they say, oh, I don't do that. You say, okay, that's fine. Would you be able to connect me with someone in your brokerage that could represent me, just because I'm unrepresented and love to work with you? So that's the double dip strategy. And what happens is, if that agent says, yes, I can represent you, they write up all the paperwork. You're almost on the same team, because they want the deal to get done. But of course, they're not going to be able to force the seller to accept your offer. But the cool thing about working with the agent together is you can just try and get the deal done, and it benefits the seller because you get it done quickly. It benefits the agent because they can make both sides of the commission, and you develop an awesome relationship with that agent that maybe they'll send you more deals, like I talked about previously in this video, where you can work with them and they can send you deals to people that maybe they want to list it, but they don't want to hassle with waiting. So maybe they want you to run it by your buyers, and you can be that new buyer for that real estate agent. So working with real estate agents and presenting the double dip strategy, whatever you want, dual agency, whatever you call it, it is one of the best strategies to getting deals with little to no, well, actually there's no marketing spend, so no marketing spend, and that's why it's such a cool strategy. So why should you be making offers on the MLS and working with real estate agents? Well, number one, it's free. As a wholesaler, as a real estate investor, there's a lot of strategies that cost money. You have, if you send out mailers, that costs money. If you send out text messages, cold calling, bandit signs, if you do pay-per-click, I mean, the list goes on of the way you can market to sellers, RVM. But if you just are making offers to real estate agents, that's free. You can go online, just look for distressed properties on Redfin, Zillow, MLS, whatever. You can make offers, and it doesn't cost you a cent. That is one of the reasons why you should start making offers on the MLS. Another reason why you should be making offers on the MLS is because we're transitioning from a seller's market to a buyer's market, there's gonna be a lot more distressed sellers hitting the market because they can't just sell their houses like that. And guys, look, I'm a cash buyer. There's a lot of wholesalers, a lot of cash buyers out there. I think 90% of people list their property when they need to sell with a real estate agent. A lot of them don't even know about cash buyers, or maybe even trust cash buyers, or go on our websites, or go try to find us, or call our postcards. They are gonna hit the MLS, and that is gonna be the best network to find deals, the best way to go work with people and find distressed properties that you can flip or you can wholesale. So if you're not using the MLS, that's dumb. Go do it. Another reason why working with real estate agents that are willing to do the double dip, or if they can't, they have someone in their brokerage, is it can be a pipeline. It can be a flowing pipeline of deals that can come in. If you deliver and you have good relationships with these real estate agents, they're not just gonna work with you on one deal, they're gonna bring you more. And that's why working with real estate agents that are willing to do the double dip strategy, that are willing to represent buyers and sellers, is a great thing, because you can get more than one deal from it. And that's really important. It's all about your network. It's about developing relationships and getting more deals so your business can stay afloat, or not even afloat, but crush it, okay? So if you guys are thinking, oh, dude, I can't get deals off the MLS, that's crazy. I just did one, all right? I just closed on a deal. I JV'd with someone in one of the programs that I work with, and they got a deal that was $22,000. It was $22,100 off of property that was listed on the MLS, okay? So you can do deals off the MLS. We wholesaled it to a buyer that I have, and we split that fee because I JV with people. I help them find buyers, like as we talked about in previous videos, and they brought the seller, we connected, and we split it. So it is very possible. Make offers on the MLS and deliver. Go to my next video on how to close a sales deal in real estate if you want to implement what I've been teaching and talking to you about so you can make money.